My name is Leo Wang. I'm the Vice President of Capital Markets and Corporate Development of Canaan Inc. with a ticker CAN listed on NASDAQ. Joining me today is Medi Naseri, the founder and CEO of a very fascinating company called LoD. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Leo.
To people who are not familiar with your company, could you tell them what you do and what your ambition is?
So, as you said, my name is Medi Naseri. I'm the CEO and co-founder of LōD Technologies. We are a company that has been active in this space for about 6 years now. And what we do, we enable Bitcoin miners, which we call them flexible loads, to be grid responsive and be good assets to the grid and enable grid balancing.
That is fascinating. When did you start to have the idea of using your technology to help people balancing the grid with the Bitcoin mining?
Around 2021, the China ban had happened, like the big migration from Asia to North America was happening. And we started to talk to a bunch of Bitcoin miners, especially in Texas. They told us that we have a big problem, and that's the price of electricity in Texas changes every 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
We have to have a software to be able to respond to grid conditions in real time.
Yeah.
That was kind of the beginning of it in 2021. So we took the idea, we started to work with our partners and build a solution that enables these facilities to be responsive to grid conditions. And as a result, not only support the grid and balance the grid, but also unlock really big profit margins through their energy strategy.
I know Texas, for one, has been pushing really hard to make the load more flexible in a way to make their grid more sustainable. Give us a little bit color about your dealings with the grid and the regulators, how their communities are supporting of that initiative.
Grids love Bitcoin miners. They're the most flexible asset out there. And at the same time, Bitcoin miners are trying to capture as much benefit as possible from their flexibility. When it comes to flexibility, there are multiple different layers involved. One is the miners being able to respond to real-time prices, technically enabling them to optimize their economics and the cost. But at the same time, there are different other stacks and programs that comes to help, such as avoiding peaks, participating in ancillary services, and like enabling deploying more renewables, more generations on the grid. So overall, the growth in Bitcoin mining capacity has been beneficial to the grid overall, not only stability, but also growth and utilization.
So Texas Grid has all sorts of programs. They're coming up with new ones all the time.
Yeah.
4CP, curtailment, day ahead trading. Do you think there's a big market expanding to kind of help people making money through trading energy? Or do you think that's more akin to companies like you who use software to automate the process for their customers?
Flexibility is getting more competitive and more sophisticated. There are new regulations, especially in Texas, that are being passed to kind of push Bitcoin miners to get more advanced in their energy strategy, kind of changing strategies around 4CP, changing rules around ERS, and requiring Bitcoin miners to be more dynamic in their behavior, which is overall, I think, is a good thing because they have the ability, but they're not leveraging that ability enough. So as a result, Bitcoin miners need to get ready. They should be ready to get more sophisticated, participating in like CLR programs, being ready to participate in ancillary service programs, being part of the new program called RTC+B, which is like real-time co-optimization, working hand in hand with batteries and renewable assets across the grid. So they're becoming more of an asset to the electricity grid. And starting with Texas, expanding to everywhere else.
That's great. You mentioned battery as a solution in lieu of Bitcoin mining as well. People sometimes compare battery versus Bitcoin mining.
Yeah.
Do you have a view about pros and cons of both solutions?
I mean, each of them are beneficial. Each of them is a tool for its own use case. Batteries are great, but they have their own limitations. For example, the profitability of operating batteries has been decreasing significantly over the course of past couple of years, especially. At the same time, the technology of batteries hasn't been evolving fast enough. So batteries, majority of them are like 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour batteries. 8-hour batteries are coming, like longer duration batteries are happening, but they're not happening fast enough, which means that the grid is not getting access to a reliable long-term solution for balancing. And Bitcoin miners are the ones who can play in that role by being able to shut down anytime and then ramp back up anytime and then enable that process.
I know a lot of companies, especially public companies nowadays, are declaring they're pivoting from Bitcoin mining to AIHPC data centers. What do you think of that in the context that Bitcoin mining is a flexible load, whereas AIHPC are 24/7 continuous load to the grid? Is that something that's been discussed between you and the regulators? Is it something that people really worry about?
That's a huge topic. So data center flexibility is one of the hottest topics among energy professional and data center builders these days. So we get involved in many of those conversations with hyperscalers, publicly traded companies, Bitcoin miners. There are a lot of things to be learned by AI companies and AI data centers from Bitcoin miners. And my company is working a lot on that front to enable AI load to be responsive to grid conditions. However, we should admit that AI is a whole different beast compared to Bitcoin mining. They don't necessarily have the same amount of flexibility and they can't follow the same rules. So as a result, they need their own tools, their own methods, but at the same time, we believe they could be as flexible as Bitcoin mines. But one problem is their demand is not as predictable. So it fluctuates. It can be anywhere in the next 10 minutes, but in Bitcoin mining, it's flat load that could be adjusted at any moment. So the mixture of two, I think, would be great. Deploying AI data centers and deploying Bitcoin mines for grid stability, like prioritizing the workloads coming for AI. But I think the combination of the two, or maybe with batteries and other energy assets, would be something that will build the future of energy and energy markets.
I know Texas is very friendly to Bitcoin mining as an industry.
Yeah.
In some of the other states, not so much. People are worried about environmental impact on Bitcoin mining. They worry about Bitcoin mining taking too much energy from the residential purposes. What would you say to regulators of the states and to people who don't really understand Bitcoin mining, to the content that you have?
I mean, you're right. Like, not everywhere are welcoming Bitcoin mining as much as Texas. But my observation is the areas who are welcoming are the areas that are growing and are the areas that are getting more investment, are getting more business, not only from Bitcoin mining, but also from power plant builders, from battery assets, from AI data centers. So adopting Bitcoin mines is a sign about how business friendly that specific region is. And I think we can judge different counties, different regions, different territories based on their mindset about Bitcoin mining.
That's a really interesting angle. Now let's talk about your company and your business. Could you describe some of your advantages in helping people and increase their profitability?
So what we believe is a majority of Bitcoin mining profits comes from energy strategy. Bitcoin mining is less about Bitcoin and more about energy these days. What my company does, it enables facilities to monitor the real-time grid conditions, identify and stack different opportunities to increase their profit margins in their Bitcoin mining practice. And right now, we are deployed at over 100 sites across US and Canada. We are managing like hundreds of megawatts of assets, and we are dispatching over 1 million commands per day, sending those commands to different servers, different PDUs, PLC systems, in order to get them to balance the grid and respond to grid conditions. And we believe this is just the beginning for us. We started with Bitcoin mining. Now we are deploying that same technology and a strategy for AI workloads, for AI data centers, and potentially for other commercial and industrial loads.
That's so exciting.
Thank you very much.
All the best with your business. Thank you for coming over.
Thanks for having me.